I live in a ranch-style home in the middle of Missouri on 1.8 acres of nothing but woods. We bought the house almost 2 years ago, and the house was vacant for over 8 months before we purchased it. The realtors had problems with squatters about 3 months into the house being for sale, but nothing had happened since. Well, my elderly grandmother lives with me as I'm her caregiver, and it's just the two of us and our dogs, and we moved into the house in early October of 2016, and the first incident occurred in March of 2017. So we started seeing a bunch of plastic bags and trash around the back of our house, further out than either of us would ever go. We didn't think much of it, but did make a mental note that raccoons or something could be getting into our trash. I put some bungee cords on the cans to hold the lids down and wrote it off at that. One night, I was coming home much later than normal, around 1:30 in the morning. All of the land is fenced in, but there is one back gate, and near the back gate, I saw a bunch of trees rustling. There's a lot of wildlife in our area, so I assumed that that's what it was, but I got that horrible feeling in the pit of my stomach and decided to just go check it out. The ground was dry enough that I was able to drive through the yard in my car with the doors locked. I shone my headlights on the trees and a man came running out of them. And if that wasn't terrifying enough, he ran straight for the gate as if he knew exactly where it was, opened it, and left. I was absolutely terrified, so I called my dad who lives in the area, and he explained to me how large the population of homeless people in our area is, and that he'd be over in the next day to put a lock on the gate. About 2 weeks after the first incident, I was letting my dogs outside. One of them had already went inside, and the other one was playing hard to get as usual. I began calling out her name, and it wasn't even dark outside yet. And after about 3 calls, there was another voice, distinctly male, started calling out her name. She began barking aggressively and running for the house, and I was freaked out, but again, let my family talk me out of making a call to the authorities. About a month passes, and my grandmother has a habit of forgetting to close the garage door behind her. Around 11 p.m, our neighbor from across the street knocks on our door, and he says that he was outside smoking and he saw 2 men standing in our garage talking. He said as soon as he started walking over, they ran off too. What scares me the most about this event, though, is that they didn't steal anything. And mind you, there was plenty to steal too. We have a brand new refrigerator, leaf blower, power tools, and my grandma leaves the keys in the car. They were just standing there talking. And this time, I called the police, and they told me in the nicest way possible that they couldn't do shit. If there was another incident, to call them and not to scare the men away. The final incident of 2017 happened probably 3 months after the prior one. We have a sun porch attached to the outside of the house, and the door connects to the kitchen and the outside door to the deck. I don't know if I explained that right, and if anyone wants, I can post a picture or something. But basically, we left for several hours to go grocery shopping. We came home and all our deck furniture was stacked on top of each other, and the screen ripped off the sun porch door. I called the non-emergency hotline for my area, and again, they said with no idea who these people are, nothing could be done. So, about 2 weeks ago now, we had our white vinyl fence power washed. This is because the fence is quite old, and a post came out of the fence, and the company that power washed the fence didn't know how to fix it, and we didn't blame them, so they had no reason to. We left the post in the front yard, but up against the fence. We came home a couple of days later, and the post was nailed back up with a smiley face sticky note attached to it. This very easily could have been a kind neighbor, but I was immediately spooked. Cut to Saturday of last week, and my grandmother is able to drive again but doesn't have her own car. I'm busy working around the house, so she decides to take herself off to the doctor's. My grandmother leaves the house through our door connected to the garage, and I look at behind her. It never dawns on me to check to make sure that she's closed it, and about 20 minutes after she leaves, someone starts heavily banging on the door. And when I say banging, I mean it sounds like a SWAT team. Someone was putting all their force into banging on that door. My dogs are going nuts and I don't know what to think. I start to think that maybe my grandma left something and is trying to get my attention, but the little voice in the back of my head stops me and tells me that there is no way the little old lady is banging on that door like that. And suddenly, it stops, and I hear a deep, again distinctly male, laugh. I grab the baseball bat out of my bedroom and lock myself in the bathroom with the dogs. I realize that I've left my phone outside the bathroom, but I was too afraid to go out of the bathroom to get it. I took the lid off the tank of the toilet, so now I had two weapons, but nothing happened, and I hid in that bathroom until my grandma was home again. And that's the story. I know that there wasn't some big confrontation or climax, but I fear that the story may not be over yet. I don't know if any of these events are connected at all, but I've got it in my head that they are, and I'm driving myself nuts to a point where I'm afraid to be alone in my own house. The only reason I even included the fence is because there hasn't been a single sketchy thing happen all of 2018, and then someone just fixes the fence, and less than a week later, another scary encounter. I honestly don't know what to think, and I'll update you guys if anything else happens. But I really do hope that whatever this is over.